on RNZ Former Jam and of course Style Council as well, and that song is from him. I hope you enjoyed that. Wildwood Moon, should I say. It's coming up to 2.5 minutes to 10. Latest news, full news bulletin coming your way at 10 o'clock. And then after 10, it's our Kiwi sporting history. I'm looking forward to sharing the story. Bonito NTi, one of the greatest football players, if not the greatest football player this country's ever seen. Most successful in his career as Oceania Player of the Century. We'll find out more about his life and the 82 World Cup finals with Jesse. It's coming up after 10. RNZ News at 10 o'clock. Good evening, I'm Mark Leishman. US Special Counsel Jack Smith has concluded that President Donald Trump engaged in an unprecedented criminal effort to hold on to power after losing the election to Joe Biden. The US Justice Department has released Mr. Smith's report a week ahead of Mr. Trump resuming the presidency. Michael Duncan of the BBC has more. The report was written by the US Special Counsel Jack Smith, who indicted Donald Trump on charges of trying to hold on to power despite his defeat in 2020. Mr. Smith says that Mr. Trump engaged in an unprecedented criminal effort to overturn that result. He believed there was enough evidence to convict the president-elect, but his victory in 2024 made it impossible for the prosecution to go ahead. In response, Mr. Trump said he was totally innocent and that Jack Smith was deranged. The second most senior police officer in the country has been suspended pending the outcome of a criminal investigation. Deputy Commissioner Jevon McSkinning is being investigated by the Independent Police Conduct Authority and the police. The nature of the accusations against Mr. McSkinning cannot be reported. In a statement through his lawyer, Mr. McSkinning says he was suspended prior to Christmas. He says he's fully cooperating with the police, after which he expects to resume his duties as Deputy Commissioner. Los Angeles is braced for a resumption of strong winds that could fan the devastating wildfires. The death toll stands at 24, with around 12,000 buildings destroyed. Mayor Karen Bass, speaking earlier, outlined the precautions being taken.
We're making urgent preparations. As these winds approach, LA City firefighters and firefighters from across the county, state, and nation, and even overseas, are in a proactive and strategic posture to save lives. Firefighting resources from LAFD and fire departments from all over are positioned in strategic holding locations.
And the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power is being sued over claims it failed to properly manage water supplies critical to fighting the devastating Palisades fire. It says LA Water and Power should have maintained water in a nearby reservoir which was dry at the time the fire first erupted. The fire crews have contained bushfire in Waitakere this evening. Emergency services were called to just before 6:10 to a fire on the northern side of Te Ridge, between Te Ridge Road and Bettles Road. Fire and Emergency says a wildfire investigator will be at the scene tomorrow morning. Crews are expected to stay in the area overnight. The firefighters will remain at the fire near Kuatunu on the Coromandel Peninsula overnight. It's burned an estimated 9 hectares of vegetation on steep hills along Blackjack Road. Fire and Emergency's drone crew did the first round of thermal imaging flights last night. Incident Controller Shane Bromley says 25 hotspots were identified last night.
We'll have the drone crew coming back in tonight after dark, and they fly over the fireground and spot the hotspots, and then our ground crews go in the next morning and put them over and extinguish them. So today we've had 3 ground crews on fireground. We've had 2 Department of Conservation crews, Kuatunu crew and Whakapawa crew, and also 2 helicopters.
Mr. Bromley says ground crews and a helicopter will return tomorrow. The New Zealand dollar has regained a bit of ground against a strong US dollar in late afternoon trading, rising to just over 56 US cents. The Kiwi is up nearly